Gisborne District Court is one of the first courts to get Te Ao Mārama funding from the budget 2022. It was announced in the budget that Te Ao Mārama kaupapa, which aims to engage the district court with communities and in partnership with iwi to design new solutions for the justice system, will receive up to $47.4 million over the next 4 years. Last year, it was announced Gisborne District Court would be one of the first small regional courts to adopt the new Te Ao Mārama court model. As a part of the adoption, the new Young Adult List Court was launched in Gisborne earlier this month. In his visit to Gisborne yesterday, Justice Minister Kris Faafoi said it was exciting to announce the Budget 2022 funding rollout in Gisborne.
Yeah, look, I think it's really exciting that Te Ao Mārama, something that is judicially led, but we were supporting through the funding through the budget of a little over $40 million is important. It's beginning here, and I think it's a different way that we will deal with our courts. Some aspects of some of the work that we've done in pilots, like the Young Adults List Court in Porirua, just north of Wellington, has been really fruitful. Rangatahi Court, so it's bringing the lessons learned from that and being able to bring it together. The Chief District Court Judge kind of talked about this a little over 2 years ago, so it's exciting to be able to the funding of a little over $40 million to start here in Gisborne.
Minister Faafoi described the work court staff had done in Gisborne over the last 2 years as nothing short of a miracle.
These places aren't necessarily being able to set up for the likes of social distancing, etc. So the work that our registry staff, our lawyers, and also the judiciary have done to make sure that people can have their day in court is really important, so we want to make sure we have the opportunity to say that to them too.
Minister Faafoi said while there was some good work happening, some court events weren't able to be held during COVID-19 pandemic.
A couple of years ago we invested $50 million into making sure that we had extra judges in some of the higher courts, but also in some of the district and high court jurisdictions as well. They also need the support staff, so having those judges there meant that we can churn through the backlog of cases. We've got extra funding in this year's budget, which is useful because that backlog obviously has taken time to get through, and when we change alert levels there are issues with that as well. So making sure that we're maintaining that extra funding for that capacity to keep the courtrooms operating and to be able to have jury trials, etc. is really important.
Minister Faafoi said each court had its quirk, and it was good to hear direct feedback from the Gisborne staff.
The IT systems that they're working with are very old and aren't necessarily efficient, and at the end of the day that means sometimes people don't get their day in court or their justice isn't served swiftly, and that can have a real effect on people's lives and mental health as well. So we have invested some money in this budget to make sure we can have a better IT system for people. That will start getting rolled out in the family court because that's where we know where the greatest needs are, and it can have an impact on children as well. So I think when we now that we have the ability to talk about this with staff, they're quite happy. Pre-budget, I think that was certainly something that they were talking to us about. It was one of the issues that they wanted to address, so it's nice to be able to come back and say that the resource is there and the money is there, but it's also important to make sure that they have input into the rollout of those systems too.